well, just to summarise what this is essentially, is basically the progressives are busy progressing things, and sometimes it's not like an entire segment's worth in one story, but it's a notable story, and they all kind of follow the same pattern of this is what the left is doing, and this is where it's going, and so here we are.
Yeah, so the first thing here is just a celebration of diversity and inclusion at Cambridge University. Record numbers of BAME admissions for 2020. Such stunning and brave actions of these people to apply to Cambridge. Like, what's there to celebrate here? Like, they've applied. Oh my god, stunning and brave. Like, what? So in here they say that those from a BAME background made up nearly 3 in 10, 29% of UK undergraduates admitted, up from 27% the previous year.
Looking forward to seeing those census numbers.
Yeah, 30% of the applicants to Cambridge came from a BAME background. So if you go to the UK demographics, just in case you're wondering, so the UK demographics here, if we go to white, 87.2% of the population is white in 2010. God
2011,
knows,
yeah.
God knows what it is now. Well, it's done in 2010, released in 2011.
Yeah,
so.
well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Because if that is proportionally representative, then it will imply that now a third of the United Kingdom is of an immigrant descent. Tony Blair, you did this.
I'm being called out in the comments for my disgusting language. I have unfathomably used the racist term that the BBC used there.
Good point. It's
yukmagamur.
Yukmagamur.
The far more human term, yukmagamur. There are 30% yukmagamur applicants, when only 12% of the population are yukmagamur. God, I love the future. So
you can't stop progress, Callum.
So the next thing here that's just total nonsense is something I saw. So there's a new transgender crosswalk, the first of its kind
beautiful,
in the UK.
Beautiful.
You can see the pink there for women, blue for boys, and white for the people transitioning.
I imagine that if you left a skid mark on that, then you'd be charged with a hate crime, wouldn't you?
Yeah, you would. But we'll do that in a minute. So the next thing here is just the website promoting that, a new crossing will celebrate Sutton's transgender community.
Oh, thank you for really hitting those working class issues.
Transgender community. I mean, firstly,
International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia and Biphobia. Isn't bisexuality transphobic?
Oh, that's where you get the id hobbit. There we go. Do you see it now?
Id Hobbit?
Yeah, remember id hobbit?
No. What?
International Day HT. There we go. That's what it was.
Yeah, Id Hobbit. Okay.
God, I love how the news speak is just.
It just writes itself.
For people who've joined, we did an episode previously in which people were celebrating Id Hobbit Day, and then just the words "love is love" endlessly, and we were like, I have no idea what I'm even looking at.
Disappointing lack of Tolkien in it as well, to be honest.
Yeah. Anyway, so this is the first UK transgender crosswalk for the transgender community. Firstly, death to the word community here.
Yeah.
What on earth do you mean? Like, how many transgender people are even in Sutton town?
But
3?
Like, the idea of community is something local where the people are interacting with one another. When they say community, they essentially use it in the same way that other people would use the word race.
Yeah.
You know, the race of transgenders. Well, anyway, just anyone who falls into the category is now the community.
But that's the thing. If they don't know each other and there's 3 of them in this town and they've never spoken to each other, is it still a community?
Yeah. By the way they're using it, yes.
What a stupid standard. Like, it just makes no sense. Anyway, so they say in here, the crossing, which is on the one-way system outside Asda, will be a visible celebration of Sutton's transgender community and a sign of the inclusivity of the borough.
Stunning and brave. I love it.
Until they had this crosswalk, I heard they were transphobes, but now...
Yeah, now I know that Sutton's... I mean, practically mandatory transitions now.
When I transition, I go at Asda. I want to see it. I bet Asda's like equality department, the HR. If you work at Asda, send them this as bait to do it. Yeah. Just go to this Asda and do an advert about transgender equality. Asda, come on, I want to see it.
I'm kind of disappointed in the in the lack of creativity. I can't help but feel you could recreate like a Beatles album cover with transgender people walking across this.
What do you mean?
Yeah. Oh, you don't know it, do you? The
I know the
Road,
walking thing, but how do you implement that?
You just have a picture of transgender people walking across this crossing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, well, there we go. That's for Asda to do.
Exactly.
And
Get on
just
it.
like, if you're transgender, shop at Asda.
Yeah.
Like, that's going to be the message. So they have a quote from a councillor here. Presumably a Labour councillor, but also probably a Tory councillor, let's be honest. So they're in charge of equality.
Lovers love Callum.
Yeah. God, what is wrong with the Tories? She says... Until transgender people and other minority groups are able to live without fear of discrimination or hate, we must continue to demonstrate our support and stand with them to clearly demonstrate our commitment to eliminating transphobia.
That's right. That's very progressive. Eliminating things is very progressive.
But that's why they built this crosswalk.
I'm here to eliminate something. That's
I don't know. Like, if you were transgender and you walked into Sutton, oh boy, you were going to get beaten up there.
No,
but now the crosswalk's there. Everything's solved.
But what other movements can say that our movement is built on eliminating things?
Eliminate hate.
Not very nice movements generally are built on eliminating things. I mean, well, if Adolf Hitler come along, look, I'm here to eliminate the problem. What's
the problem? Racists. We're going to kill all the racists.
Exactly. What's the final solution to the transphobia problem?
Kill all the transphobes.
Well, you've got to eliminate transphobia, and transphobia exists in the minds of the transphobes.
We're going to put the party flag wherever it needs to be. All the rest of it.
Saying, it's a very negative thing to build a movement on.
Maybe I should have added it, but I forgot. I don't know if people saw it. There was a thing in Scotland. Some guy who was running for Scottish Parliament went up, and he was protesting the new Scottish hate crime bill. And the way he did this was he got himself an armband with diversity colours and the word love on it, and a little symbol in here of a heart.
Yeah.
And would go around giving the salute, you know which one. And him and like two friends turned up, and they would all do it in unison, screaming love.
The diversity and inclusion salute.
But it was like, it's so obviously just satire of Hamza Yusuf's hate crime bill. They actually ran into Hamza Yusuf, and Hamza Yusuf started calling them fascists. It was like, no, we're here for love. And then they did the thing.
But it's ironic that Hamza Yusuf, the arch fascist of the Scottish National Party, which again, National Socialist Party, is calling other people fascists and complaining about white people all over the place and saying that I need to listen to, we need to be able to criminalise your dining room conversations. But you're the fascist. Shut up, Hamza.
He wasn't even the worst one there. That's the irritating thing.
God,
the journalists were the worst one there. Because they were recording these guys and they were just like, they're playing their satire up, being, we're here for love, to eliminate hate, and all the rest of it. And this journalist, this fat guy with his phone, is just like, you're a bunch of fascists doing Nazi salutes. And he's like, and then the guys who are doing satire broke character, were just like, you can't be that stupid. There is no way you are this stupid that you don't understand. But
there is every chance that they're just that stupid. But what I mean is just like, you can't be like, hi, we're the movement for tolerance and inclusion, and we're here to eliminate something. Yeah. It's like, oh God.
Eliminate the transphobes. Yeah. Anyway, so that's that in Sutton. But of course, as you mentioned, don't drive on it, or walk on it, or do anything to it, for Christ's sake, or you might end up in jail. So so this is in Canada. So a newly painted Pride crosswalk damaged in the town of Paris. If you have any information, please contact... blah blah blah.
Yeah.
To remain anonymous and eligible for a cash reward, and the image
so
here.
There's actually tire marks on it. Oh God.
So the image here is of the rainbow colours, but you can see they've also put that little triangle in the corner there. We'll explain that in a minute. And there's people who have presumably braked, like they've got tire marks on the crosswalk that they built on the road.
I guess their defence will be, we were just representing black lives.
But the thing here is we put our holy symbol on the road. And people ran over it. How dare they? I mean, what were you expecting? But
what are they going to charge them with?
Stop
you
driving.
You drove over a crosswalk.
Yeah, the manhole cover there.
Yeah, that is it. Yeah, very good.
There's a little corner in there, so you said it was representing black lives. Don't worry, that's already been done. So the little triangle on the bottom there, you've got the white, pink and blue for the transgenders. And then you've got the black and brown line next to it. Because no other line here showed race. I mean, that yellow line there wasn't for the Asians.
Well, I was going to say, what are the two big yellow lines on the other side for?
The red one, is that for the Indians or something? No, none of them are. The whole point in the rainbow flag was it's not meant to be about race.
Can we be represented by the purple
line? Why?
Well, just because I'd like some representation. I like the
colour
colour
purple. Yeah. Why not? We're in the flag now, boys.
Yeah.
But I love how this has come, because as soon as they started adding race to it, people unironically use this flag with the triangle, with the black and brown to represent black and brown people. But then this just became a symbol of the alt-right. I don't know if you've seen their memes where they're just like, yes, the flag in which all the colours are separated. A place for every race. And it's like, well, that's exactly the progressive message here. They put black and brown people in their own little box in which they shall not touch the other colours, shall never mix. Good God.
Just to be clear, we advocate against segregation on this podcast. We are anti-segregation.
We're not progressives or the alt-right, but those two are. So the next thing here is just that this isn't new. This is, as you can see, this is from 2021 recent, but there's loads of these. So if you go to the next one, this is West Vancouver PD. Investigators would like to speak with the driver responsible for defacing a recently installed Pride crosswalk.
How did he deface it? He drove over it. And
they've got a picture of the crosswalk that clearly just has, like, he's turning. And, I don't know, he had the brakes on or something. And then pictures of the car, as if you're like, look at this man. Like, look at the car he's driving. That's the car of the alt-right.
There's clearly a white man in it as well. A white man drove over this crosswalk and there's a tyre mark.
Also, there's white lines on this crosswalk as well.
But how could they possibly prove that this was done with, like, malice or something like that? You know, you'd be like, well, I just drove over it. Well, why is there a skid mark? I don't know. I guess I had to brake. What do you want?
Because I'm driving a car.
Yeah,
I mean, not a go-kart.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, don't know what to tell you. You know, oh no, sorry that you've defaced our holy monument. Well, maybe don't put it on the floor.
Like, imagine the Nazi Party writing that, putting swastika crosswalks, and then everyone who drives over them gets done for, going
being
against
a communist or a Jew.
It's just so stupid. Like, I could get an argument for the idea that if you drove over it and then started doing donuts or something whilst blasting, I don't know, like Death to YMCA or something. Okay, yeah, then you could say that's him being hateful. But driving his car on the road, that's not a hateful act. Sorry to say, but again, this isn't the only one. There's another one of these.
It's probably not even an electric car.
Let's go to the next one. There should be one more of these, which you can see Lambeth Pride Fest here. So there's a Facebook post for immediate release. It's less than a week ago, someone became and trashed our transgender flags here. So if you go down, I'm going to read the whole thing because it's just whining. You can see it, like, it's wear and tear.
Yeah.
There's wear and tear on the crosswalks, and this is vandalism.
Total bigotry.
I wanted to say, like, it's just so beyond parody. I love how Facebook lets you do a little pride emoji now.
Ooh,
in there.
Do they?
Presumably, there's one with a tie mark on it that's for bigots.
I'll be using that pride emoji a lot on Facebook. Whenever I see something progressive.
Yeah, and whilst all this is going on, what's going on in the UK with flags? So this is an article I saw on Breitbart by Kurt, who's a good guy. I know Kurt. So, flying Confederate flags deemed hate-related offence by the British police.
How many Confederate flags get flown in Britain?
Just if you're from the South and you have, I don't know, like a Confederate shirt or, a car, that's a hate symbol now. That's verboten. You can't bring them. So, and in case you're wondering how this happened...
So applicable, yeah.
Who do you think was the one who reported it?
Well, a leftist.
Yeah. Last week, Emily Robinson, a 38-year-old teacher who recently moved back to the small English city from a left-wing progressive enclave of Brighton...
Oh, God.
...made a complaint to the police about the house flying a Confederate flag.
Why were they flying a Confederate flag?
It was apparently like some celebration of a holiday or something. But
the house reportedly had a long-standing tradition of flying different world flags on days associated with them. What day is associated with the Confederate flag?
I don't know, Secession Day? I'm not American. So she says, quote, "To me, this is a great opportunity to educate people on how damaging this is to many people who are a minority in our lovely city. As I know, many people have not had any reason to... many people have not had any reason to know why it's such a big deal." It's not a big deal.
No.
That's why.
No one cared until you turned up.
Like this lady here, this Emily Robinson, this SJW from Brighton's screeching. And everyone else is just like, it's just a flag, mate.
Yeah, just move back to fucking Brighton, mate. Just go away.
And the next part's the best bit. Quote, "I believe it is our responsibility as white people in this country to stand up to racism."
Excuse me, there is no fellow whites here. I know that you've had your white racial consciousness raised by critical race theory, but this is why we call critical race theory a form of racism. Because you're literally arguing on behalf of white people against the people of colour, incidentally. I hate it. I hate it.
Me
You're
and the
not
whites
fellow
will save
whites.
the browns from this flag.
Yeah, exactly. No.
It's a
Absolutely
flag.
not.
It's so
God
pathetic.
damn, now I've got to get a Confederate flag.
So they say, in response to Mrs. Robinson's complaint, the British police issued, quote, words of advice to the owner of the house and recorded the flag flying as a hate-related offence under the public order. So this flag existing is a hate-related public order offence. So it is a crime now, apparently. But they gave words of advice to the person there.
There's an annoying SJW that's just moved back from Brighton. You might not want to fly this anymore. She's just going to cause so much trouble. And unfortunately, the law's against you. Just knock it off,
I wish
Brad.
the police were that understanding.
Yeah, well, I mean, maybe in a
I
small...
bet they turned up and we knocked on the door and went, "Excuse me, how can you be flying this?"
In a small village, maybe they are,
Nah,
But I can't imagine that she's made herself popular.
Considering how much corrupted the police force is yesterday, I don't buy it for a second.
In a small local village, the police force is probably not going to be like the police of tolerance and diversity.
So you can't fly flags that are very offensive or could be considered from hate groups? Yeah, not all of them.
So some of them
you can.
If a flag is the flag of a movement that's dedicated to eliminating something, does that make it a hate group flag?
Depends what colour the people are who do it. So the next one here is the flag of jihad. So
I see it's the black flag of Labour flying proudly.
So this is, I presume, some Palestine protest in England. Boy holding the flag of Islamic Jihad in front of a chanting crowd. Just call it the black flag of Labour from now on.
Yeah.
Let's do that. And people chanting about such and such.
Jews. That's what they're chanting about.
But if you scroll down as well, you can see that they end up complaining about this more. If you keep going, there's just the tweets below. So in another protest, apparently there was another one of these flags. And then below here, he mentions that the police were literally standing around in attendance. So were the stewards. No one cared. So like they're just seeing the black flag of Labour there and just no one interfering.
It's fine.
But if you brought a Confederate flag, good God. Good God.
Yeah, that's a problem.
So the last thing I wanted to end on here was just a jihadist rant at one of these as well that's gone a little bit viral because progress is progress. And his views on what should be going on. This is Britain. Let's play.
The reason why we are here because we are Muslim. Innamal mu'minuna ikhwa. Those brothers in Palestine, they're our brothers. That's our blood. Our war is one. Our deen is one. Our Rasul is one. The solution, very simple. Jihad fi sabilillah. We have armies. We have tanks. We have soldiers. What are they waiting for? Oh yeah, if this goes out to the Muslim armies, what are you waiting for? Jihad is responsibility on you. Wipe out that Zionist entity. How dare they occupy Masjid Al-Aqsa? How dare they speak to our Muslim folk? How dare they? Have you got no honor in you? The Muslim youth here, we the Muslims in the West, we are with you. We make dua for you. Make jihad fi sabilillah. Remove the Zionists. You have these armies and tanks. What for? Remove them, and we'll make dua for you, inshallah. Very soon. Very soon you will see. You will see this. You will see this Ummah's response very soon when we remove these dictators, these tyrants, and we replace another Hazrat Umar, and we will send you another Salahuddin, and you Zionist entity will be no more. We don't fear anyone but Allah. We don't fear the United Nations, British government. We don't give a damn. We only fear Allah. Jihad, fi sabilillah, by the armies. I hope you know, brothers broadcaster.
I bet this man votes for Labour. There is absolutely no question of it in my mind that he votes for... 93% of Muslims in this country vote for Labour. He's a Labour voter. Tony Blair brought these people here. Tony Blair created this. That's Tony Blair's jihadist and the black flag of Labour in the background. Thanks, Tony. If you enjoyed this segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can watch the full broadcast live every weekday at 1 p.m. UK time on lotuseaters.com.